I want to talk about piracy now, mainly in regards to movies. So, as some of you may know already, I still buy DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks, but there are some movies that have still never been released on any format. Some were released on VHS, but never made it to DVD, and some movies are still stuck on DVD, but never made it to Blu-ray. And there are other cases where a movie may have been released on home video in another country, but not here. I always try to buy them if I can, but as I've ventured into older or more obscure movies, it's been harder to get them legitimately, and in some cases I've had no choice but to rent them so I can finally watch them. Now, with streaming, they show a lot of movies that haven't been released on home video here, or at least not in HD formats. And they've been fairly good for the most part, but I've encountered this problem more lately, where a service like Amazon Prime will list a movie that I want to watch, but demands that I pay for it even though the streaming service is already being paid for, so why list it if it's not included? I'm going to use High Noon as an example, the black and white western film from 1952. I wanted to watch it the other day, but you have to pay extra for it on Prime or Sky. It's not on Netflix at all. So, this is where we talk about the state of copyright in general. As far as I can tell, everyone involved in making High Noon is long since dead, and the only people making money from it now had nothing to do with the original production. And I'm going to use the American copyright links because that's what YouTube and every other American service goes by. So before 1976, the copyright of a movie or any work lasted 28 years plus 15 more years if it was renewed, making a maximum length of 56, which I'd say that's fair enough. The lengths were changed in 1976, so now it lasts as long as the author lives plus 50 years, which I think that's kind of insane, and that's before the extension in 1998. Copyright doesn't exist so you can make one thing and then sit on your arse for the rest of your life. It exists to reward people for their creativity, but encourages them to continue being creative throughout their life rather than just having something take off and then doing nothing else. As it is now, it's actually anti-competitive. Now, I'm not into Marvel, but imagine if Marvel was public domain and someone else could make better movies than Disney. The copyright system right now exists to prevent that, so people are forced to only pay for Disney's slop. As far as I'm concerned, a movie that was made more than 70 years ago should not be subject to copyright, and I am not going to respect these bullshit laws. I am going to pirate it, and I'm not going to feel bad about doing so, because why would I, when the filmmakers already made plenty of money on it back in the day and no longer exist? That's my stance anyway.